Alrighty, we are properly attired in Nintendo merch. Hey, Ubisoft, by the way, when are we going to get another Mario Rabbids game? They were really cool. I want more of those. Okay then, let's talk about those prices for the Switch 2, its accessories and its games. Hello again, I am Blunty, and the industry as a whole has pretty much been cooperating in a semi-price fixing kind of malarkey way to slowly but surely make the new normal for game prices that Sony has perhaps been the most aggressive about pushing. But with a new console generation, Nintendo are 100% on board with massively hiking the standard price of games as well. Of course, when even a Mario Kart game is asking for 120 Aussie dollars, that's about 75 American dollars at the current but wildly fluctuating exchange rate. Hey, American friends, just a little side. Is something going on with your economy right now? Things seem weird. Are you all okay? Why are you crying? Anyway, to put that into perspective, the current normal price for a Switch game, and indeed a lot of games in general, is about 80 Aussie bucks, 50 odd in US cash. Now, I'm not super good at math, but 80 to 120 is, as far as my brain can figure, fully a 50% price hike. So that's crazy. That's not inflation. That's just crazy. It's also what CDPR want to charge you for their Cyberpunk on Switch, but that does at least come with a complete Phantom Liberty DLC pack, so you can kind of justify that if you wanted. Most other high-profile Switch 2 games seem to be priced at about 110 Aussie dollar dues. That's about 70 Yankee Doodle smackers. And that is the pricing that Sony started trying to standardize their new games at a little while back now. And slowly but surely the rest of the industry have used that as proof of concept that they too can get away with the nearly 40% price hike from 80 to 110 as a common standard price, the new normal. Because if we're all happy to pay Sony that kind of money for their games, surely we'll buy other publishers' games at that price as well. That is, again, way more than inflation. That is pure, refined, weapons-grade corporate greed is what that is. And it hurts. That's kind of personally insulting, really. The console itself, 700 crikey bucks. That's about 440 star-spangled smackers. Which actually means we get the console slightly cheaper than the Americans do, which is very novel indeed, because usually we pay a bit more thanks to import stuff and shipping and GST, which is our sales tax thing, and the fact that we're a lovely big island down under and it costs more to ship things here. But that Switch 2 price, it does also put it at a higher price, if you can believe it, than a full, fat PlayStation 5 disc version, or a PS5 Slim, which seems nuts to me. For reference, an OLED Switch costs Aussies about 540 bucks, so a Switch 2 costs about 20% more than that. Whew. Hey, know what else is bizarrely greedy? Nintendo showed off a tech demo title, right? A little set of tutorials and guides and demo-style mini-games to tour you through the features and capabilities of the Nintendo Switch 2. So cute. Adorable. Hey, did you notice they're going to sell that? They want you to pay for that. It's not just some pack-in tech demo thing. They're selling it to people. They're asking money for it. That's hilarious. Not even Sony were bold enough to charge for their super cute little tech demo that served a very similar purpose for the PlayStation 5, Astro's Playroom. No, Sony gave that away for free. Sony did that. Sony gave it away for free. Now, to be fair, Nintendo didn't mention a price. Maybe it's like $2. Can't wait for that, though. What if they want to charge 20 bucks for it? So let's look at hardware accessories next. That new camera, for example. Pretty enticing. Well, actually, that's more or less in line with what your average halfway to useful webcam will cost you. We don't really have any info on the specs of it, so it's hard to make a comparison. We don't know the resolution of the sensor. We don't know the lens construction or the type. All we know is wide angle. But interestingly, Nintendo have confirmed you might be able to use your own existing web cameras, stating that they do have USB-C support for third-party cameras. Your mileage may vary on that and whether or not your USB 2 camera is going to work through a USB 3 adapter and things like that. I do have a small fistful of old webcams around here somewhere that I'll do some testing with at launch, just out of curiosity. And I've also got some ideas about how to hook up real cameras to it as well, which should be fun. But let's talk about a far more essential accessory. Hey, would you like a Switch 2 Pro controller? Yes, of course you do. I played 99.9995% of my Switch 1 time on a Pro controller or a third-party equivalent. So those are 120 Aussie bucks. 20% price hike over the cost of the Switch 1's Pro controller for what? A couple of back buttons and an audio port? That doesn't seem fair. That doesn't seem right. That's price bloat right there. It actually makes it the same price as the significantly more feature-rich PlayStation 5 DualSense controller, so it feels kind of way overpriced when you think about it like that. Fortunately, the third-party situation for controllers has come a long way since the OG Switch launched like 7, nearly 8 years ago now, I guess. So I don't think it'll be long before we get some great quality third-party alternatives. I do, in fact, use a third-party controller on my Switch these days already, and that will probably still work with the Switch 2. I just won't have like the C button and stuff, which is of middling use to how I play. And of course, we do have paid upgrades for Switch 2 Edition games. So if you own an OG Switch game and it gets an update patch for Switch 2, that's more money out of your pocket right there. Again, prices unknown right now about how that's going to work, but I'm guessing it will be in line with what is common on the PS4 to PS5 upgrade patches that we saw in that transitional period. So like $5 to $15, really, depending on how sophisticated it is and how far it goes. Maybe it'll be free if all it does is like unlock the frame rate and resolution scaling or something. But at least this one does make a little more sense. If it's an upgrade that includes a performance overhaul, maybe even new features like better lighting engines, upgraded textures and stuff like that. That's real work, time and money being spent on a title that is already considered, a finished, complete game that it's already out there. They sold it, and no more work's being done on it. So you have to deliberately make more work to do that. Also, though, lovely thing Nintendo did. I mentioned this in my original overview video as well. Their own games with the Switch 2 patch, most if not all of them will come at no additional cost if you are already a Nintendo Online subscriber. At least for as long as you keep paying for that subscription, of course. You stop paying, you'll lose access to the Switch 2 Edition patch, obviously. So, yeah, the hardware situation is roughly in line with expectations. We expected prices to go up. They went up a little more than I expected them to be honest with you, especially that controller. But it's the massive, like galactic-sized price hike in games that's feeling really slimy. I mean, I've been sensing it coming. Like I said, Sony started that ball rolling, and more developers are getting on board with that. I didn't really expect Nintendo to do it, though. I expected their games to go up a little bit, but not by 40%. I was thinking 10%, maybe 20%. Oh, and you can bet on the fact that even though they're making higher profits from every single game sold, that won't stop the habitual layoffs and shit that developers are constantly dealing with. No chance on that. It'll be business as normal there. These price hikes are not about sustainability or, games being more expensive to make, blah, 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 blah. And it's not about paying the people who actually make the games or, letting them keep their jobs and stuff like that. This is just about taking as much money as they feel they can get away with and lining the pockets of the grey-faced suits in the boardrooms and the investors and whatnot. But hey, every hour that I can play a video game is an hour I'm probably not soaking in my own existential dread at the state of the world and fighting off intrusive thoughts so dark even a can of Vanta black paint would squint at it in mild disbelief. It's pretty dark, bro. It's pretty dark. Oh well. What are you going to do? Seriously, what are you going to do? Somebody tell me. What are we going to do? I don't know anymore. I should have loosened that hat a bit. Thanks for watching. Just wanted to have a little bit of rant about that and give you the opportunity to rant a bit as well, as I'm sure you're doing in the comments. Let me know in the down below, for those of you who care enough to do the math, what kind of price increase are you looking at in your local currencies? Europeans, Americans, Canadians, South Americans, whatever. Are you looking at the same sort of 40% price hike that we're looking for here in Australia? Because I'd love to. I'm too lazy to do the research myself. I'm just going to wait for you guys to tell me. But yeah, how are you feeling about that? Because I'm not feeling super awesome about it. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty. Thank you to the patrons. And we'll catch you next time.